Okay, this time we don't have music playing in the background, so this is good. Hello, everyone. Hopefully you made it back after that little technical difficulty with music playing in the background of my phone while I was trying to get going live here for you guys. I'm just getting things loaded on my page so that I can see if there is anybody there. If you're here, say hello and let me know what you're up to today. Sorry again about that trouble with the music in the background. I don't know if any of you heard that. I can see there's a couple people here. I just don't see who just yet. So I'll give it a second, and then I will get explaining what I'm going to make for you guys today. I know a few of you have this bundle that I am using, or not the bundle, but the set of dies, and I hadn't done anything with the fishing rod yet. Hi, Linda and Ramona. And so I wanted to do something with this die as well. I haven't used the mustache yet. I was hoping to get one done yesterday, but hopefully I'll get to do that before it's gone. I know, Ramona, you have this one, right? I'm not sure, Linda, if you do, but you could always even leave off the fishing rod. I even liked it just with the corner elements there. I have some draw winners. I'll announce those after. I just have one more that Ryan's just grabbing for me. So I will get into this card in just a minute. If you would like to share, please feel free to do so. Lost my train of thought. And then just come back to comment to let me know that you did. Ramona, you won a few draws by default because you were the only one that commented that you shared. And no worries if you're somebody that just doesn't typically share them. That's okay too. I hope I didn't just make this more crooked. I actually did. So we're going to flip that back again. Sorry for moving the camera on you guys. Just move it a tad more. It always looks straight before I come on, and then it looks a little crooked. So we are looking into getting some replacement parts for my camera holder because they are not keeping things steady. Okay, so I have made this card here. I did a similar one with my stamp club with the sweet citrus. I should have grabbed that one to show you guys, but it opened this way with a different border die. And then this one here, I wanted to do something with the fishing rod like I was telling you guys, so I pulled in this other border die. The border dies are staying, thankfully, but I have a few retiring dies that I want to show you guys that I am using here. Okay, so I'll show you the ones that are staying first so you don't feel so panicked on those. The basic border dies, let me know if you guys have these, are these ones here. We use this kind of triangular arrow-shaped border with Stamp Club, and then I use this one here for this card to cut the edge of my card. And then I have so many projects on the go in here, I don't know where to put things. I have also used the rugged icon dies. These are still in stock. They are $16 or $16.80, right in around there. You get all four of these, as well as this one here that I have pre-cut the fishing rods with. So this one here comes with this set as well. I think it's adorable. They're great for masculine cards. I posted some cards this week with these. I did one quite a while ago with the guitar. We'll be doing that at the retirement party. I posted one, I think yesterday maybe, with this one here. And then I've posted one with this, I think I've posted the one. That one might still be coming with this one here. I made them a while ago. So I've been trying to slowly post them, but they're all following the same sketch. So they're a bit redundant, but then that way at least you guys get to see different ideas done with them. Now, I also used the layering diorama dies. When I wanted to use the fishing rod, I figured that one of these might be nice to use with it. They are also retiring, so I have used this one here, and I have cut it with vellum. So I have the pieces already pre-done, but these ones here are on clearance for, just give you guys the price, in Canada, they're 30% off for $28. So, and they were also in stock still yesterday. They appeared to be this morning as well. I refreshed my order. I just put things into a mock order and refreshed it, and nothing got kicked out of my cart. So that was a quick way to tell what's there without scouring through the whole sold out list, because there's quite a bit that is sold out. So I have pre-die cut my fishing rods. I have actually pre-die cut 3 of them, and I have put the adhesive sheets on the back. So we have those. And then I have pre-die cut that layer of vellum that I showed you. I have also pre-die cut the card base. So I just took this border that I showed you, just about threw it across the room, and placed it on the front of my card like that. And then I ran it through the Stamp Cut and Emboss machine. A tip for you if you're going to try this, especially if your top plate has any previous cut marks in it, you want to just, what I did was I just rolled it up to here and then backed it back out of the machine so that the top plate didn't impress any of those cut marks onto the rest of my card. So just roll it as far as you need and then roll it back out the way that it went in so that you can avoid some of those extra marks on there. And I have something else that is sadly sold out. The Journey dies, they have sold out. I believe the stamp set is available, but the DSP just sold out. I was going to order myself some more and it is gone, unfortunately. So I will have to use up what I've got. So this sheet here is from the Enjoy the Journey DSP, and I'm going to just use a small piece of it on the end here. I have also pre-die cut some clouds from the Journey dies. You could use clouds from any set that you've got if you have clouds. There's been quite a few sets recently that have had clouds. And then I, excuse me, sorry. I have some scrap of Pool Party and black so that I can stamp the trees and the black greeting there. All right, you do have the border dies. That's awesome. I'm glad that they're not going anywhere. There's a lot of staples that have been leaving this year, so it feels a bit sad. So what I'm gonna do first, has anybody seen this blends on vellum technique done before? I know some of you guys have. Is it new to anybody? Let me know. For this, I have some 90% rubbing alcohol in this bottle here. The 70% it's just a lot harder to get it to blend. You'll have more success with the 90%, and it will also dry faster, so your paper is less likely. It's not foolproof that it won't warp, but it's less likely to warp. I have my heat gun handy to speed up the drying, and I have the colors of blends that I'm going to use. So I have Light Shaded Spruce, Dark Soft Succulent, Dark Pool Party, and Light Mint Macaron. I started with Dark Mint Macaron and it was dried out. So I quickly put another one on my order because that color is retiring. So if that's a color that you want, be sure to get that one before it's gone. And those colors tied in with what was in the patterns of the pattern DSP here. So I have, you can kind of tell which is the front. The edge of your die cut curls down a bit. So I'm gonna flip this over and get started with the coloring. You saw it, but have forgotten how. Okay, well, you'll get to relearn today. So I'm going to just start with scribbling some swatches of Pool Party on there. I don't want to have too many of the dark colors because I don't want the water to look too dark. And I'm going smaller with my swatches of the darker colors. How many of you love Mint Macaron and are going to miss it? So now this is the Light Shaded Spruce. I wanted it to look kind of like a lake and fishing was what I was sort of going for here. And initially I didn't have these extra pieces, but we didn't back off the border die cut, so it actually left some marks on the edge from where we had taped down the border die. So these got put here as a means to disguise it. And then I actually wasn't sure if I was even going to put the fishing rod on anymore because I really liked it just with these elements on the corners. But came back in with some more. I'm just going to fill in with a little bit more Pool Party. And you can do that after you've added your darker colors in. I'm going to put in a little bit of this light mint macaron here. So I just cover whatever area I want to have the technique on. In this case, it's like the whole die cut. I have done other projects where it's just an element of a piece of vellum. I don't have any of them handy or I would show you. Okay. And then I'll probably bring in a little bit more Pool Party. Okay, so I'm done with those now. I may need them again, but I'll bring this a little closer. So it's hard to see it, but it is all covered. You can kind of see it a little bit better there. That is all covered with blends. That was on the back side. So now I'm going to just move this over and I'm just going to drop this. I'm going to start with it over the darker colors, and these are just really small drops. You don't want it to be so saturated that it just runs off and doesn't really let your colors blend. But you need enough of the rubbing alcohol that it will actually cause it to blend. You can't go so thin. I have done this also just by spattering a paintbrush over it. So if you don't have one of these droppers, you can still do this technique. It is not absolutely necessary. Now, I don't want those to just stay in little droplets like that. So I'm going to use my heat gun and blow this around so that it has, kind of looks like some movement. So that gives that alcohol some direction, makes it look not so strategic with the droplets, and then it also helps dry that. There we go. Every time your result will be slightly different. That water or the alcohol is never going to move in exactly the same pattern every single time. So there we go. That is the layer that has the technique. And I am just going to bring back in my card base so that you can see that little layer of water over top of the white. So this one has a few more dark areas in it than this one does, but that's okay. Like I said before, it'll never turn out exactly the same every single time. Okay, so we've got that ready. Now I'll do some stamping. I actually have a couple techniques with the stamping, or one technique anyway. I have the, oh gosh, where did my stamp go? Now perhaps I left the actual stamp in the other room, either that or it's in my tray hiding underneath my Versamark. I almost called it Vellum. Okay, so I'm going to just make sure that I don't have any stray fluff, or we have a cat, any stray fluffs or cat hairs on my stamp. Especially when you're heat embossing or using a dark ink, you don't want to have any stray hairs or anything on there, because they will leave a mark on your project, and that's no fun, especially with embossing powder. So this stamp actually says, wishing you joy in the next adventure. I don't want to use the first line. Originally I was thinking I would put it up in the corner here, but I just wanted the adventure. I just liked the boldness of this here. So I am going to mask off the wishing you joy in. And there's actually two little stars on either end. So I have some sticky notes. You can see I have used this mask a few times now. So I'm masking off this top line. I don't want that one there. So we'll press that down. I could just cut it off, but I wasn't sure how close to adventure I wanted to cut. So that was why I decided to just mask it off instead. And I meant to grab the stamp set for you guys, because I think the stamp set, though the dies are sold out, I believe the stamp set is still available. So that was my embossing buddy that I used there. Now I have Versamark that I am going to ink up my greeting with. So I just want to make sure that's really well inked. And this step here is where you really need to make sure you take off the sticky notes. If you do not remove these, you're going to get that big blob on your project, and that is not what you want. So I'm going to just bring my stamp mat back in here, or bring it in here. Didn't bring it in today. And we can stamp that onto there. Oh, it looks like I did get the Wishing You Joy in. It must have soaked through the, I've used that mask a few times like I was saying, so it must have soaked through there. So you can't use your mask forever. I'm gonna have to brush it off. So in theory, you could mask it. Oh, it didn't have enough there to do anything about it. I could see it on my end, but it didn't show up on your guys' end, so that's okay. Now I just want to brush off the excess. The Embossing Buddy helps there to be way less excess, I find, so that you can get a nice crisp image. I love that one. Ramona, do you have this stamp set, or Linda? I can't see who else is there, but if you're here, say hi. All right, and then now I can heat set this one. I love the effect when you watch it go from powder to glossy. Some people wave back and forth. I like to just sort of concentrate on a spot at a time and move my way across. Then I know the whole thing is nice and done. You can see I got a couple of little jumpers there. A couple little flakes that jumped off. That's okay. All right, so we have that done, and now I want to use this pool party piece. I need to move my masks off of here, and we're going to ink up the trees. These also came from the, I think it's called Enjoy the Journey. I'll have a quick look so that I can show you guys, and I'll stamp that on here. And then I'll just have to disappear for a moment to die cut this. There we go. So that was Garden Green on Pool Party. That's what I decided to go with for that. And I have got the dies here that I will just tape down. I love a coordinating die set. Punches are great, but when you've got so many different elements of the set that you want dies for, I love that we've got them. You don't have that set or the border dies. You could always use a border punch to create an edge like that too. The border dies are fun. I love the cloud one. And it goes really well with the Playing in the Rain. Are the dies sold out? They should both still, the dies for Enjoy the Journey are sold out, but the Layering Diorama dies and the Rugged Icon dies are still available. You do have Layering Diorama. This is, I think, maybe only the second time I've used Layering Diorama dies. But I really like them with this technique. Okay, there we go. So now I have my stamping complete. I just need to trim this one down. So I will grab my little cutter, which it looks like I forgot it. So I'll be right back, and I'll come back and check for your answer there, Louise. Sorry about that. I use my trusty little cutter. So these are the Greatest Journey is what they're called. And I will just check. I don't believe that the stamp set had sold out. I believe it was still available. So it was from this one. The DSP is sold out. I'm super sad about that. But Greatest Journey, I've used the Wishing You Joy in the Next Adventure. I have also used You Belong Among the Stars. It's a really cute stamp set too. The greetings in it are really nice. And then they had all these samples here. The twine has actually sold out as well. But here's a closer image of the, or closer view of the stamp set there. Mountains of Thanks is cute. That one would also go with Majestic Mountain, I think they're called, dies. Okay, so for this here, I use this cutter so much. I wish they would bring this back. So I'm just snipping that really close to the top, and it's not completely straight, so I'm going to just snip a little bit more off the one side. And then I have used a retiring embellishment as well, so I'll show you guys that. Okay. I could probably go a hair closer, but I'm going to leave it before I chop off the bottom of that greeting. All right, now I have my paper snips. I'm going to just hand cut the end. And I tried to roughly leave equal spacing. It's hard to tell exactly when you're just doing that freehand that way. But I'm also going to distress the edges. So Louise, yeah, I wish they would too. You were wondering, which dies was it that you were wondering about, Louise? And are you in Canada? If you're in Canada or the US, we should have the same inventory, as far as I understand. So I distressed the edges of that just a little bit. And now what I'll do is I just need to cut off a little bit of this piece of DSP. This is one of my favorites in that pack. I just love those stripes. I think I was telling you guys the other day, blue and green are usually my colors. So I love this color scheme and I love the pattern. This is 4 1/4 wide. Usually I would cut it at 4 so that you get nice even use out of your DSP, but because it's actually the full width of the card front and I didn't want to cut down my card front so that it was only 4 inches wide, I had to cut myself a strip that was 4 1/4. So this is 4 1/4 by 1 3/4, and we'll go this way. I was just assessing where the stripes would end up. I kind of like that it has a more full stripe on the end, so that's why I chose to not go at this end here. I'm going to flip it so that I get the full stripe here, and then I can at least turn that towards the outside of my card. So that's going to go this way now. The next thing I'm going to do is, I was telling you guys at the beginning that I pre-die cut the fishing rods. I love how they have the little fish there. Did you guys notice that? My son was like, why is that shaped like a fish there? I guess it's that it's caught one. Were we calling it the handle? He was wondering why it wasn't complete, but it's all a silhouette, right? So it's cute. So what we did was, at first it looked like the handle was fish shaped. I put the adhesive sheets on the back of the black cardstock so that I can actually stack 3 of them on top of each other. It would be really hard to put this thin die cut on a dimensional, but I wanted it to not be quite so flat. I'm not sure if you can see the dimension in there on camera, but I wanted it to be more than just flat, so I die cut 3 of them, and with the adhesive sheets on there, I can just stack them on top of each other and they will nicely stick to each other so that it looks like a thick layer. Almost like those stickers is kind of what it's like. when I made this one, I was planning on using a layering diorama frame and putting the fishing rod over the frame with a layer of vellum set back behind it. So my first one, the third layer, was not on an adhesive sheet because I didn't want it to stick down through the frame. And then I changed my mind. I completely changed the card. So I actually had to glue that one. So this time I pre-die cut 3 with the adhesive sheets. And it cuts through pretty nicely. There's just this one little piece there that, and then I'll save this because I can still die cut elements from the rest there. And I chose to not do this ahead of time so that you guys would be able to see how I am doing this. So I just peeled off the first little bit of that, and I should have punched out all the negative spaces, but it's not too late to do that, so I can still do that. Now I'm just lining these up, and I didn't peel the whole thing. I just peeled the first loop. I find that it's easier if you haven't peeled the whole thing, because otherwise it starts sticking to each other before you have it lined up and ready to go. So I just kind of peel back an element at a time. And then you can still just reach in there and peel the rest off. And by lining this up first, you could even start at this end, then it just kind of guides the rest to line up for you. I just had that one stuck on the handle there. Okay, now this part is a little bit tedious. You gotta poke all those little, actually those might just come through when I peel that next backing. I'll poke these ones out. I posted some cards on both Instagram and Facebook, and I had mentioned where I used the negative space of the mountains to underline my greeting. I'll see if I have any of them handy. Sometimes those little negative spaces are useful. So for this one here, I used the negative space of, oh, the mountain one isn't here. If I have a moment to grab it, I'll show you. But I used the negative space from here to underline the greeting here. And then on the mountain card that I posted with the Today is the Day Memories and More cards, I used the little slot from the mountains, which mine are right here, the dies. So I used one of these little slots here and I underlined the greeting with those. So sometimes your little sticky negative shapes are good to use somewhere else. I don't save them all, but that one was something I knew right away while it was in front of me. I wanted to use it, so I hung on to it. So that's 2 stacked together. Now I'll peel this one off and I can stick it down to the third one. Have you guys ever done this before? This is something that you can also, if you have the, I think it's called Alphabet a la Mode, the letter dies, you can also die cut those with a layer of adhesive sheets on them if you want some extra dimensional letters without having to fussy cut your dimensionals, or if you want to have thicker letters in a particular color, you can just cut your color of cardstock multiple times and then adhere your stack of letters together this way. Now I just got to reach in here from the right side so I don't rip that handle off. There we go. So now that is thicker and it's more sturdy. It's a lot more sturdy on the project now too. And then I can just poke these guys out. Sometimes these pieces come out a little easier as well if you know for sure they're cut through. If they are not cut through entirely, you want to make sure you get them out with each layer. But if you know for sure that they are cut through nicely, sometimes they come out a little nicer with the stack of them together. There's a little bit more to grab onto and they're less likely to stick to you. I have so many little bits of this stuff from using these dies so much stuck to my projects, not the ones that are on my creations, but just the things that I'm working on my desk. The Journey dies, yes. Okay, you're in Canada too. Unfortunately, they are sold out, so that is a bummer. Okay, I'm not going to peel this backing off, so there's a couple pieces left in there for now, but they are stuck to the backing here, so I'm not going to worry about those just yet because I don't want that to stick to everything. So I'm just going to set that aside for now. I nearly forgot that I needed some linen thread. I was thinking that the negative spaces from this almost look like a headlight, so I don't know if there's something that could be made with that, but that's what keeps coming into mind for me. All right, so I think we can focus on assembly now. Just have to regather all of the supplies. I have swaps that I'm working on too, so I have got little bits and pieces of projects. Now, I went and hid my card base underneath these dies while I was showing them to you guys, so I just had to find that again. Sorry about that. Okay, now I'll show you. First, I'm going to begin with the piece of DSP, and I have a bit of a trick for lining this up. I had mentioned I wanted to have this full stripe. It's almost full towards the bottom. I didn't want it to end with just this little bit of stripe here, so I just want to make sure that I have that facing towards the edge of my card. And I'm just tapping this down on the desk to line this up at the bottom. And I am going to use, I want to make sure you guys can see this. So I'm going to use Tombow. This is a brand new one. If you guys were here the other day, you know that my other one was biting the dust on me. So I'm going to put a thin bead of Tombow along the top of this DSP. I'm making sure that this is held nice and square. Scoot that back up so you can see. I'm making sure that this is held nice and square here. And I'm going to put a thin bead of DSP along, or thin bead of glue along the top of the DSP, and a thin bead along the bottom or the inside edge of this die cut border. I don't want to go right up to the edge because I don't want my glue to seep out that way or come up through those stitched lines there. Hey Amy, it is a die. It's from the Rugged Icons. I can show them to you after. And the same thing here. I don't want so much. I don't want to go so close to the edge or so much that it's going to seep up behind here. So just a little bit. That's probably even too much. I'm going to have to spread that one out and just drag it away from the edge so it doesn't seep up. And now this one here, I'll just do a thin amount along the top there. Now, making sure again that my corners match up, I can just take this and close it down, and then that should line up. And then that way I'm not fighting by just bringing that down onto this piece lined up. I'm not fighting with making sure that everything's straight and nothing has seeped out the top here. What I did with my stamp club, and I'll probably go back and do it for this one too, is I actually cut another piece of thick white. This is a thick white base. I do actually need to slide that over just a hair. So this is a thick white base. I took another thick white piece and I lined the inside so that you didn't see this seam here. And your inside piece might not match. And right now the trees are upside down. The trees on my other one are not upside down, I don't think, but on this one they are. I'm actually gonna clean up this little edge too. So you just want to, I have to use the big cutter for that. That won't fit in there. So those are things that you just want to check while you go. I must have been a little off in how there we go. And there's a tiny little hair that's off on my thick white, so we'll take that off too. There we go. So just clean those layers up as you go. I know you guys hear me say that all the time. But in the end, I find that I'm happier with the result of my card. So there we go. So now we have this, and again, later on, I'll line the inside of the card there. What I did next was I'm going to attach my, so Amy, you'll have to rewatch this one. I did the blends on vellum technique that we were talking about the other day. So this is, for anyone who's just hopping in, this is a layer of vellum. And I did the blends technique on the back. This is the layering diorama dies. And I have some itty bitty glue dots here that I am going to use to attach that first. And then of course I have layers that are going to go over top that will also help hold it down. But I was telling you guys that when I use vellum, I try to place, however I'm gluing it down, behind elements that will hide it. So I pick the darkest spots where there's a little swirl in the ink, and I place a little glue dot there. So I'm gonna go right here, and I find with these little ones, and hiding them in a spot like that, that I don't tend to see them. So I just try to place a few kind of in the corners of whatever. There we go. So I've picked a few spots where it's best hidden behind the ink, and then I can attach this. I'm going on a diagonal so that it fits. There we go. And we don't really see those glue dots. All right, so now we can take the trees. My scoring needs to be burnished a little better. It's looking a little askew, so I should do that. That's why that piece went a little off before. There we go. Sorry for my reach. All right, so now we need to, where did I put those little trees? If you were the trees, where would you be? Oh my goodness. Somebody might have to tell me where I put those trees. Did you guys see where I put the trees? Are they hiding under the card? Oh man. I die cut those trees. Did they fall at my feet? There they are, right under my arm. Now I gotta see if somebody answered me that they were under my elbow. They're on the flowers, thank you. I don't know. I haven't really used other adhesives, so there could be. I have some corners of my dimensionals here, so I'm gonna have to use these. I may even run back out to the other room. We have to keep sharing this room because Ethan's been studying in here, Ryan's been working in here, so we all keep trading spaces in here. So a lot of my stuff is not in the actual craft room. It's the room where you can close the door and actually get some work done. All right, so now this I'm just putting down in the corner. And like I said before, the first time I did this, I used it to hide where we kind of put impressions in the cardstock from the die cutting machine. But this time I strategically avoided that. Then I'm gonna take this adventure word here. I am actually gonna run and grab those other dimensionals because I want to double decker them. So I will run and grab those. And before I put this on, I'll get you guys to tell me what your thoughts. I'll attach it, but I will get you to tell me your thoughts and whether you like it. I'm gonna leave this here so you can look at this while I'm gone to grab those glue dots. And you can kind of see how I liked it just as it was without the fishing rod. I thought it was kind of nice without it too. I wasn't sure. I had a moment where, do I even put the fishing rod on or do I leave it off? But the whole project started with wanting to be able to show you guys a way to use the fishing rod. So I will be right back, but comment please and tell me what you think about fishing rod or no fishing rod. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so we have one, you could get away with no fishing rod. What does everybody else think? Thanks, Amy. You're gonna try this with some older DSP, did you say? Yeah, use up whatever DSP you have. Especially with that gift card one I did the other day. I will be posting that soon. I had so many, hey Rhonda. I had so many projects to share. I still do. I don't know that I'm gonna get to post them all before the catalog retires because I feel like I'm I don't know, I just feel like I'm bombarding you guys with stuff. And then we had our inaugural post for a new design team today. So I knew that that had to go live. And then I've got the projects from the last couple creative challenges to post. So I need to get those posted as well. Oh, and then I have the share draws to let you guys know about as well. Okay, so I single deckered the one in the middle, double deckered the ones on either end so that I can just place this over top of here. If you didn't want so much bulk, you could do just one. I initially had it with just one, but I wanted to put the linen thread bow under there. So I came back in. Hi, Sandy. You love my posts, so you don't mind if I just keep posting things. Some of them are already shown in group photos or in the reel that I posted of all of the masculine cards, but it's not quite the same as an individual photo that's paused there as opposed to flying by in a video. So I'll go ahead and put this on, but I do really like it still with just the clouds and the adventure and the trees. So this is going to just tuck right in here, and hopefully my head's not in your guys' view. So we've got the fishing rod there. And for anyone that's just hopping on, that is a triple deckered fishing rod so that it's got a little bit more bulk and a little bit more dimension to it. Now we'll stick these clouds down. The clouds, again, are from The Greatest Journey, but there's clouds in the spinner dies. If you have those, and the layering diorama are the ones that are retiring as well. I just need to snip some of these in half because this little cloud is, whoopsie. I just put some half dimensionals with the flat side along the bottom of the cloud here because it's going to overlap that other one. There we go. So this is just going to go down there. And I just have a few more things to add and then it's almost done. If I was thinking I might get to do a second live today. I was thinking of using this paper that's now sold out. So I'm not sure what to do. If I should just come up with something else and go tomorrow. What do you guys think? Do 2 tomorrow? Let me know what your thoughts are. So I have this linen thread bow. And then Monday is the last day of the catalog, both catalogs. I'm not ready for a lot of this stuff to go. I'm ready for some of the new things to be available so that we can get them more than what's on the pre-order list. I love the pre-order list stuff. Can still show it. I have lots of DSP to use up. And I just need to grab my ribbon scissors. I'm sorry, I still have my old ribbon scissors and I like them for cleaning up the ends there. Okay, so what I did with this was I used a glue dot, and this is going to get tucked behind here. I just reached in here and grabbed that with my piercer. And then that way I could slide it to where I wanted it with that glue dot. So the glue dot's just on the back of the knot, and I kind of just tucked it right in here. So that was why I put the greeting on a double decker, was so that my linen bow could fit into there and the knot wouldn't push my greeting forward too much. At first I did have it there and it bulged it out right here. So I peeled it off and I double deckered it. So there is the linen thread bow. And then what I have used for embellishments, these are also retiring. These are the solid faceted gems. They come in a variety of colors. I really like the colors in this, actually. I think this is Mossy Meadow. I wish it would tell us on the back. We talked about this last week, didn't we? But I used the Pool Party ones. These are in the annual catalog. They are on sale. I need to order myself another package of these because this is the only pack I have. I often have more than one, but this one is one I just have one of. It is on page 142. There's a lot of embellishments that are on sale, deeply discounted and still available. But this one is number 12 on page 142, the solid faceted gems. They are 30% off for $7.70. If you need any of these items that I have been using on live, I will be placing another order right after this live, actually, because there's some things that I want to make sure that were in my order still this morning are still available. So I used the smaller of these to just accent the greeting piece, and I just went rogue and pulled these from the opposite side. I try to stay to the same side. Oh well. So I did a little trio here, and then I also added a little bit more up here in the corner. There's a little fluff there. There we go. I should have told you guys what colors these were. So I will look that up for you. I did actually take the photo of this project already, so I will post it and the Fanciful gift card holder from the other day for you guys. I'll post those both today so that if you are playing along with the creative challenge for either of these, thank you, Linda, you can add your photo. And I still need to tell you who won the other cards for sharing. The colors in this are Balmy Blue, Night of Navy, Petal Pink, Melon Mambo, Pool Party, and Mossy Meadow. I'll put those back against the backing there so you guys can see those. And you get 180 dots in there for the $7.70. So if anybody wants those added to my order, you can let me know. And I will be, or if you need any of these, the Rugged Icon dies or the Layering Diorama. Unfortunately, the Greatest Journey we can't get the dies for, but you can still get the stamp. And unfortunately, this DSP has sold out, but you could put any DSP. Even if you had the color collections, you could use those. Amy, yes, the Layering Diorama dies are retiring. The colors, none of these colors are retiring, but this embellishment package is retiring. So this embellishment pack won't carry over, but these colors are staying, if that makes sense. You can still get the inks and cardstock, all that kind of stuff. Just this pack of embellishments will go. And if you mean this, there's a lot of these embellishments on this page that are leaving, and a lot of them are like deeply discounted. The Elegant Faceted Gems are sold out. I haven't marked that, updated my book with that yet. But actually the pearls are sold out. The red rhinestones are sold out. The champagne ones are sold out. Quite a few actually sold out in the last few days, but there's still lots that are still very discounted and available. So let me know. I will be placing that order very shortly. And I still have the host code if you wish to place your order online. That's still open. But if you want, if you're local and you want to get in on my group order, I will be submitting very soon because like I said, I missed out on that paper. I don't know when it sold out. So maybe it was already sold out when I was keying in when I had my stuff in there. But anyway, so that is today's card. If you want to come and watch me either tonight or tomorrow, comment and let me know, and I will decide, probably tomorrow at this rate. But if you think you're up for 2 lives to fit extra things in, just comment and let me know that. And if you feel like sharing, please do, but make sure that you come back and comment. I actually have to tell you guys who won the card draws, and then I will on the next live announce who won the product draws if I don't share them online before then. Okay, so I am going to just bring in these cards here. All right, so there's one that I still have to make another card because the one project that I did on live, I was saying I actually needed both of those. It was the one where I customized the 50th and 75th birthday. You can watch again today or tomorrow. Perfect. I'll be stalking Facebook. I love that you guys will come and watch with me. It's much more fun when there's somebody to stamp with live. Okay, so I have all of these to announce who won. If your name is on one of these, please message me your address so that I can make sure to send them. And again, if you want to share these videos so that you have a chance to win this card, just come back and comment that you shared after you have done so, and you will go in the draws next week when I do them. All right, so this one goes back to March. This one, whoopsie, sticky note fell off, was won by Kareen. So Kareen, you can message me your address or I will message you for it. If you message me first, that's great. This one here was won by Aoife. And this one, Brenda won this one, Brenda S. So I will message you, Brenda. This one, Ramona, this one is yours. Ramona has a few here. So be sure that you do come back and comment that you shared. Ramona, you have won a few by default because you're the only one that commented that you shared. So that's awesome for you. And the Sea of Thanks, this one I made these little bubbles with the dots and spots background die. That stamp set unfortunately has sold out. Ramona also won the campfire card. And Ramona also won the brush bouquet card, and Maria won this twigs and sprigs card. This is the one I was telling you guys I went back in and I redid a new piece of watercolor so that it wasn't so dark. But thank you guys all so much for watching and for sharing and coming back to comment that you did. I appreciate it a lot. And I will get these to you guys so that you have some inspiration in the form of happy mail. I love getting cards in the mail. And the little things that I nitpick over on my own cards, I don't ever even notice if there's anything on other people's cards that they send me. I just love getting a card. So I really should just relax and let it go because other people probably don't notice it on mine either. But yeah, it's just that I do. But oh, and one more, the Abigail Rose, Ramona, you won that one as well. So I'll have to make you a different card with that one because I needed those ones that I made on the live. But I do have your name down as the winner of that one. So we've got all the names entered for the creative challenges that were anything before last week. And then we'll be doing last week's soon as well. And then we'll get those posted for you guys, or else I'll announce them on the live. But those ones come with an actual prize, not just a card. So we will get those done for you guys too. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining. I hope you guys all have a good day. If I think it's probably safer to say tomorrow versus to today, but I will post and let you guys know when they will be again. All right, have a good day, everyone. Hi, Tammy, and goodbye. See you guys later.